going on, my peeps? Your boy Versatile is back with another video, back talking about another subject that we tech enthusiasts like to overblow and complain about, and that is wireless charging. Back, it's almost like the part 2 series of the average consumer. The average consumer is not thinking about wireless charging. They probably think it's neat or it's cool if it's a feature or an addition to the phone, but it's not a necessity of theirs and not something that they're focused on. We as tech enthusiasts are. We as people who push companies to innovate might be concerned about that, but the average consumer who buys devices are not overly concerned about wireless charging. So why am I talking about wireless charging? Well, this bad boy, this OnePlus 7 Pro, does not have wireless charging. Still, OnePlus has foregone or forsook wireless charging again, and people are losing their minds. Me personally, of course I would have loved to have it because I've invested in the Samsung ecosystem, so virtually all Samsung devices have wireless charging capabilities, and for their devices it's relatively fast. I want to say even, well, I guess 2018 wireless charging did take like a leap forward in terms of charging times, so wireless charging has become better. But one of the big issues still with wireless charging is heat dissipation and heat regardless, because it's coils, it's electromagnetism. You more or less say that's heating up these batteries, and so your phone or your device typically gets hot. So a lot of people was expecting, oh, the Pro model of the OnePlus is gonna have wireless charge. Woo, hey. No, it didn't happen, okay? It did not happen. I'm fine with it, it's not a big deal, because again, I trust OnePlus. A lot of people kind of also a little in the tussy when it comes to OnePlus and their battery technology because it's proprietary. But if we think about it, sometimes the proprietariness or the privatization of certain things, certain aspects of tech, is what makes other companies step up their game, which is why this year we've seen a ton of companies boost their battery capacities. You know, a lot of phones now coming out bare minimum 3,500 to 4,000 milliamps in terms of battery capacity. OnePlus has Warp Charge, which charges this thing in like 30 minutes, like for real. Most of the time I charge my phone, by the time I drop to 35, 40%, my phone's charged in like 35 minutes. Like that's how fast it is. Boom, I'm at 100%. 40 to 45 minutes tops. But that's all the time it takes to charge a device. So if you're anywhere, whether you're in the car and you have the Warp charger in your car, you'll charge your phone up just as fast. Or you have the out of the box Apple Warp charger, 30-watt charger in the box. You plug it in, whether you get home or not, plug it in, you got tons of battery life. They started it a little bit last year with the McLaren Edition 6T that again gave you boosted, battery charge times. But OnePlus, and I guess maybe you could say Apple nonetheless, but OnePlus has been taking their time, probably trying to develop and help innovate wireless charging on the back end. So that's why we haven't seen it yet. Take Apple for an example. They tried to do too much, Apple did, but Apple tried to have that wireless charging coil device, AirPower, where it had like 30 coils in it and you could place devices anywhere on it and it would charge. Problem was, all them coils, all that heat, probably either not safe or to their standards, they weren't really willing to, push out quite yet. Now imagine OnePlus trying to do that, or any other company trying to do that also. You're gonna have disasters. Samsung should have dubbed the Samsung Fold the development edition, or the developer edition. The testing, hey, everybody wanna try this out, instead of trying to come out as it being the official device, and you see what, it kind of backtracked them. No, kudos to Samsung still for trying, just like more or less kudos to Apple. Just Apple wasn't willing to take that chance, of course, to put the product out. But now you got OnePlus, who's, in my opinion, really gonna change the wireless charge game when they finally come out with their wireless charge devices. Maybe another year or two before we actually see it, and wouldn't that be interesting if they actually included it with the purchase of the device in terms of if it's their own unit for wireless charging. That would be amazing. Or at the minimum, it costs like 50 bucks to buy it off their website or something if they do end up developing such technology. But the average consumer is not concerned with wireless charging. We are as tech enthusiasts, but your everyday Joe Schmo who goes to the store and buys a phone is not asking about wireless charging. That being said, Of course, we hope that it becomes a better standard, because just like the headphone jack disappearing or phone technology nonetheless, the more it has improved over time, the easier it is to take your phone and do whatever you want with it, whether it's take a picture, whether it's listen to some music real quick, whether it's getting a nice full quality display like the OnePlus and viewing some great content on it. We want our phones to get to that point, but we know companies take their time and don't try to give you the whole shebang today because they want you back tomorrow to buy another device. And so in terms of wireless charging, OnePlus is going to wow us within the next couple of years in terms of wireless charging. And that's what I'm looking forward to, but we can't get mad at them for not having it, because to their standards or to their expectations, it's not ready. It's not ready. And a big thing with them has been heat. That's why with the OnePlus 7 Pro, the warp charging, one of the best things about warp charging and their battery tech is that it won't overheat or won't get hot while you charge the device, and you can still play video games on your OnePlus 7 Pro without the phone getting hot while you're charging. So you can play games and charge and your phone still stays relatively warm but not hot. And so you see OnePlus is thinking things through and very smart. So what we got to do is not try to eat them up, eat them alive, because they didn't include wireless charging and the headphone jack, because even their everyday buyers, that's why they probably eliminated it. And if they survey their peoples and stuff like that, no one's concerned about the headphone jack anymore, and wireless charging can wait. It's not a need. This phone is still a flagship without wireless charge and without a headphone jack. You don't need it. Google brought it back, but again, one of the reasons why Google seemed like they brought it back is because of the market in which they're charging devices for, which is kind of skewed in my opinion. That shouldn't be the reason why you brought the headphone jack back. I mean, I guess you could bring it back, you could bring it back. And it also showed you can have a big battery in the phone instead of a headphone jack. So people are just cutting it just to be cutting it. It is what it is. I'm not opposed to it. It doesn't matter to me because I have like 2 or 3 different pairs of Bluetooth headphone sets somewhere around here. But it kind of goes to show you like the mindset behind the headphone jack. And this phone competes very well against several flagships this year. And it doesn't need a wireless headphone jack. Wow, look at me just combining words. It doesn't need a headphone jack or wireless charging to compete or even win those debates and battles. It's got 3 cameras that do a good job. It's big. Most people like big phones anyway, and you can still use it great. It's convinced me back to using a big phone, and I like the Galaxy S10e. It's got a great display. It's got the display fingerprint sensor that's pretty fast. Let's see if I can, boom, and I didn't have my finger on it correctly, and it still got in real quick. It's got a 90 hertz display that you can see and recognize, and for this bigger display, amazing. So this phone can compete with the likes of any phone this year, and for that matter, dare I even say the Samsung Galaxy Note 10, which is said to be removing the headphone jack and all physical buttons for that matter. We'll see about the physical buttons part, but it can compete with that. It'll compete with the Pixel 4, it'll compete with the iPhone 11, because the market in which this phone is in and for what you get, amazing. Google started to do it with their Pixel 3a series, and this phone does it too. And that is eliminating the for the price moniker and just giving you a great device at a good price. You know what I'm saying? Like $700, $750, you get more than what most flagships give you despite not having wireless charging and a headphone jack. Pixel 3a series gives you a ton of stuff at $400. You choose, you know. Preference at the end of the day, but both devices have changed the market in ways that we'll see how it affects the future. But I think it's changed how we view the market, how companies may even go about charging and or including in their phones and their devices nonetheless. But your boy Versatile signing out. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. enjoyed this take. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about wireless charging. Do you think it's necessary? Do you think it's a big deal? Do you think tech enthusiasts just be losing our minds over nothing sometimes? Let me know down in the comments below. With your boy Versatile again is signing out, and until the next video. Wait for